In the aftermath of the fall of the Golden Age, the realm of Chayim stands at a precipice. The echoes of the war between all Ethonia and Shel have left deep scars on the land and its people. Though peace has returned, it is fragile, a delicate thread binding the kingdoms together. As the shadows of Shel retreat, new challenges arise, testing the unity and resolve of Chayim's inhabitants. In the Kingdom of Ethonia, the sun was setting over the grand capital of Ethonia, casting a golden glow across the city's spires and bustling streets. The kingdom, once a beacon of prosperity and peace, now bore the weight of recent events. The memory of the war was fresh, and though the people went about their daily lives, an undercurrent of unease pulsed through the air. King Korban stood on the balcony of the royal palace, his eyes scanning the horizon. His heart was heavy with the responsibility of leading Ethonia in these uncertain times. The legacy of his grandfather, King Derek, was a formidable one, filled with courage and sacrifice. Korban speaking softly to himself. "Grandfather, you fought so valiantly to protect our world, but now the peace you forged is crumbling. How can I honor your legacy? How can I protect Chayim from the shadows that still lurk in the darkness?" North of Ethonia lay the tranquil kingdom of Silvay, a land of verdant forests and cascading waterfalls. The people of Silvay had always lived in harmony with nature, their lives intertwined with the rhythms of the earth. But even here, in this haven of peace, the war had left its mark. The elder of Silvay, a wise and gentle soul, gathered villagers beneath the towering oaks. The soft rustling of leaves provided a serene backdrop to his words, but there was a gravity in his tone. Elder of Silvay encourages the villagers. "The winds have changed, my friends. I fear that the peace we have cherished for so long may be threatened once more. We must remain vigilant, for the shadows of Shel have not fully dissipated. Their influence lingers, even in the farthest reaches of our realm." The villagers exchanged worried glances, their serene lives now tinged with a growing sense of unease. To the east of Ethonia, the kingdom of Veridia thrived in its agrarian splendor. The fields were lush with crops, and the air was filled with the scent of fresh harvests. Veridia had always been a land of plenty, feeding not only its own people, but also those of the surrounding kingdoms. As the sun rose, casting a warm glow across the fertile lands, a farmer spoke to his young son. His hands, rough from years of toil, rested on the boy's shoulder. "The war may be over, but its effects linger. We must work harder than ever, son, to ensure our kingdom continues to thrive. The darkness has been pushed back, but we cannot let our guard down. Our land is our strength, and we must protect it with all we have." The boy nodded, his eyes determination, ready to carry the burden of his father's wisdom into the future. In the western reaches of Chayim stood Sanctum, a kingdom of faith and spirituality. Its grand temples, with their soaring spires and tranquil gardens, offered solace to those seeking enlightenment. The monks and priests of Sanctum believed in the unity of all beings, their prayers a constant plea for peace and harmony. In the great hall of Sanctum's largest temple, the high priest addressed a gathering of followers. The air was thick with the scent of incense, and the soft glow of candles illuminated the solemn faces. The high priest spoke with resolve. "The forces of darkness may have been pushed back, but their shadow remains. We must continue to seek enlightenment, to strengthen the bonds between us. Only through unity and faith can we ensure that the light prevails over the darkness." The followers bowed their heads, their hearts lifted by the high priest's words, yet aware of the trials that lay ahead. To the south, The kingdom of Valorion resonated with the sounds of clashing swords and the rhythmic beat of war drums. Here, the warrior caste ruled, their lives dedicated to the art of battle. Valorion was a land of rugged mountains and fierce warriors, where strength was revered above all else. In the training grounds, the captain of the guard addressed his troops, his voice carrying the weight of their shared history. The captain of the guard spoke sternly. "The peace we enjoy is a fragile thing. We must be ever vigilant, ever ready. Our enemies may be quiet now, but they will strike again. And when they do, we will meet them with the strength and honor of Valorion. We must never forget that peace is won through vigilance and might." The soldiers responded with a resounding cheer, their resolve as unyielding as the mountains that surrounded them.
East and southwest of Ethonia lay the twin kingdoms of Lumina and Umbra, as different as day and night. Lumina, bathed in perpetual daylight, was a kingdom of golden towers and lush gardens. Its people lived in the warmth of the sun, their lives filled with light and joy. Umbra, in contrast, was a land of twilight, where shadows danced across Gothic architecture and mystery shrouded every corner. In the grand hall of Lumina, the ambassador of Lumina spoke with a visiting dignitary from Umbra. The two kingdoms, though opposite in nature, had always maintained a delicate balance. In a diplomatic voice, the ambassador of Lumina speaks. "Our differences have always defined us, yet we must work together. The darkness that threatens Chayim is not just a threat to one kingdom, but to all. The light of Lumina and the shadows of Umbra must unite against the greater shadow." Ambassador of Umbra responds gravely. "We understand this well. We will stand with you, for the light and the dark must join forces if we are to protect our world from the encroaching darkness." Their words carried a weight of urgency as the two kingdoms prepared to face the challenges that lay ahead. In the coastal kingdom of Aequoria, where land met sea, the people were attuned to the rhythms of the ocean. The shimmering blue waters and vibrant coral reefs were home to both merfolk and humans who lived in harmony. Yet the recent conflict had stirred the waters, and the tides of change were upon them. Queen Alara of Aequoria stood before her council, her regal bearing and calm demeanor commanding respect. Queen Alara firmly proclaims, "The waters are restless, and the tides have turned. We must strengthen our defenses and be prepared for whatever comes our way. The sea is our ally, but it can also be our greatest threat if we are not vigilant." Her council nodded in agreement, their loyalty unwavering as they prepared to defend their kingdom. In the heart of Chayim, the kingdom of Mechanora stood as a testament to human ingenuity and technological prowess. Towering machines and intricate clockwork designs filled the landscape, blending the old with the new in a symphony of progress. But even here, in this kingdom of innovation, the shadows of the past loomed large. An inventor in Mechanora's grand workshop spoke to his apprentice, the clinking of gears and the hum of machinery providing a constant backdrop. An inventor of Mechanora thoughtfully expresses himself. "Our machines have brought us prosperity, but they are not enough to protect us from the darkness. We must continue to innovate, to push the boundaries of what is possible if we are to ensure the safety of our kingdom and our people." The apprentice nodded with determination. She absorbed the wisdom of her mentor. In the grand council chamber of Ethonia, representatives from all the kingdoms of Chayim gathered around an ornate table. The atmosphere was tense as the leaders of each kingdom voiced their concerns and ideas. The fate of their world hung in the balance, and they knew that only through unity could they hope to prevail. King Korban stood at the head of the table, his voice filled with determination. With resolute Korban speaks. "The shadows of Shel may have been pushed back, but they are not gone. We must unite as one, for the fate of Chayim depends on our ability to stand together. Each of our kingdoms has a role to play in this struggle, and only by combining our strengths can we hope to overcome the darkness. The High Priest of Sanctum, seated beside him, nodded in agreement. High Priest of Sanctum wisely speaks. We must seek guidance from the light and the dark, from the earth and the sea. Our unity will be our greatest weapon, and our faith will be our shield. Together, we can ensure that the light continues to shine, even in the darkest of times. The leaders exchanged solemn glances, their resolve solidifying as they prepared to face the challenges ahead. Far to the west, in the desolate lands of Sheol, the shadows gathered once more. The twisted trees and jagged mountains cast long, ominous shadows across the barren landscape. Though they had been defeated, the forces of darkness were far from vanquished. In the heart of the darkness, the Mistress Astere's successor addressed the Dark Council. Her voice was filled with malice and determination. With a cold voice, Mistress Astere's successor harshly says, "The light may have won this battle, but the war is far from over. We will return stronger than ever, and when we do, Chayim will be ours. The shadows will rise, and the light will be extinguished." Her words echoed through the dark halls, a chilling promise of the darkness yet to come. The stage is set for a new chapter in the history of Chayim. The kingdoms are united, but their unity will be tested. The shadows of Shel are rising once more, and only time will tell if the light can hold them at bay.